Let me know once you're seeing.
There we go. Yeah, I can see it just fine, Kash.
Myself as well. That's fine.
Yep, all good.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Hey guys, hope you're all doing good. It's different times, and I hope everyone's staying home and staying safe with their families. I'm Akash. I've got some of my teammates joined on the session as well. We represent the SCOM product group. Thanks for having us and giving us the opportunity to talk about the SCOM product updates as well as the investments in Management Pack. We really appreciate Silect, who's partnering with us on some of the initiatives like the Power BI dashboard, the one we talked about. We look forward to many more engagements with Silect, and to be part of this MP University, we're really happy about it and hope to have many more sessions like these. Right. So the session which we have, we are going to talk about the SCOM updates so far. What have we done with SCOM engagements or with SCOM product, and what are the future updates as well as the roadmap in terms of SCOM as a product as well as Management Pack. The agenda that we have lined up for ourselves is we'll talk about the team that we have. We're going to talk about the roadmap for SCOM as a product. What is the upcoming updates that we have for SCOM? Then we also talk about the Management Pack updates as well as, so, I've got a little bit of a juicy stuff where we talk about what are the new, new inventions or new topics or new engagements that we are looking at. Again, this is still in the development, so it would take some time, but of course, we wanted to make sure that you guys are up to date, and we wanted to make sure you guys are aware of what we are investing in, right? And of course, feel free to go ahead and put your questions in the chat window. We have got a few folks from our team who can take those questions and keep it more interactive. Okay. So first and foremost, I just want to quickly introduce the product group. So we are headed with Prasad, and we have about 3 program managers for SCOM especially. Prasad heads the entire system center workload, which includes virtual machine manager, DPM, service manager, and many other products under the system center. Me, Himanshu, and Bhavna are the program managers in SCOM specialty. We also have the engineering team. It's a pretty vast team headed by Manjari, and we have some of the engineering folks joined on our panelist as well. So feel free to post any kind of technical questions that you have. Something is beeping on my screen. Let me just check what that is. Okay. All right. I'm new to this tool, so I'm just getting used to it, Harold. So let me know if you are not able to see my screen or me, either way. Okay, so that was about our team. We want to quickly run through what has been the previous roadmap or what has been going on in the world of SCOM. Just want to quickly run through what is the release cycle of SCOM, System Center rather. We look into long-term servicing channel, LTSC. We look into update rollups, and we also look into the previous versions of SCOM. So for the LTSC, we piggyback on Windows Server. We go with Windows Server release cycle. The next Windows Server release cycle, I believe it is scheduled for 2021. So you may see a new version of SCOM and System Center products coming. System Center products aligning with Windows Server. There's a bit of background noise. I'm not sure if it's only me or.
Yeah, we just need to ask the other presenters or panelists to mute themselves if they're not speaking.
Thank you. All right, so coming back, as I mentioned, we are going to go ahead and look into a new version of SCOM probably in the year of 2021, since we are having the Windows Server planned for the same year. And along with the LTSC, we are consistently working on newer features, bug fixes, design change requests, all of it in the current version of SCOM, that is 2019. We have update rollup 1, which was released about 3 to 4 months ago, and we had really great reviews, and we reached out to customers, got a lot of feedback on what are the upcoming changes that they would like to see in the product. So as part of the update rollups, the release cycle goes, we have update rollup 2 planned for August, and I would really encourage folks to go ahead and update rollup 1 first, and then test out update rollup 2 if you are if you have a test environment or so. I'm going to talk about update rollup 2 in the upcoming slides. For 2016, we are not concentrating on the features per se. We are making sure that we are looking into the bugs and the issues that are there in the product. And again, the release cycle is similar to 2019. We have it every 6 months, and update rollup 9 went about a month back. I hope you guys are up to date on the SCOM 2016 environment. And there were also a few updates on 2016 which I would like to talk about. Let's move ahead. All right. Quick recap on what was covered in SCOM 2019 UR1. There were a lot of fundamentals as well as new features that were introduced in SCOM 2019 UR1. Some of the significant features that were brought in were the simplified patching, the GMSA, the monitoring agents, or the updates on the cross-platform side, Universal Management Pack for Linux, the HTML web console, right? Some of improvements in web console, the support for SQL Server 2017. Right. While we're talking about the support for SQL Server 2017, there have been questions about what about the support for 2019. We are looking into that as well. Again, there is a dependency on SQL team for this. So we are considering it, and we would want to go ahead and bring that supportability as soon as possible. Right. Moving forward, as I talked about for 2016, we released update rollup 9 about a month or so before, and this covered quite a few bug fixes and some of the design change requests that was requested for 2016. I would highly recommend you to go ahead and have a look into it. We talked about the driver updates, some of the registry changes that we have brought in, some really impactful bug fixes that we have gone ahead and fixed in update rollup 9. I would encourage you and your customers to go ahead and install it on your environments. Right. Also, along with 2016 UR9, there were a few updates that we released for 2019. 2019 came up with an interesting feature where the SCOM admin cannot go ahead and close an alert unless the underlying monitor is actually healthy. Right. There were a lot of requests as to why that change happened. Can you please revert it, and all of it. Along with those requests, there were also some of the known issues that came up with the alert management, like the automatic alert resolution was not adhering to the alert management closure. We also had faulty messages that were showing up in web consoles when you try to close an alert. Right. In order to go about fixing those, we have gone ahead and released a hotfix for alert management for SCOM 2019. This was again released about a couple of months back. I would highly encourage you to go ahead and have a look into it and see the previous behavior and the new behavior with alerts. Right. In case you would want to go ahead and see more information about this hotfixes, we have written a blog as well, and I would also like to highlight that we are very proactively, writing blogs or publishing them so that you guys are aware on the actual updates which are coming up in the SCOM environment. I'll go ahead and share about that information later on. This is the newest thing that I would like to talk about, update rollup 2. Looking at the feedback that we've collected so far and some of the bugs that we have encountered, throughout SCOM 2019 cycle, we've gone ahead and categorized or prioritized some of the important features that we'd want to go ahead and roll out as part of update rollup 2. Right? Some of the features that we are looking into update rollup 2 are the change tracking. Change tracking has been a significant ask on the user voice, where an admin would want to go ahead and track what are all the activities that has happened for on management packs. Who updated what management pack, when was it deleted, when was it re-imported. All of it is part of change tracking for management pack, right? The second update is with regards to the schedule maintenance mode. Up until now, whenever there was a conflict of schedule maintenance mode, whenever there were two maintenance mode created, and if there was if there was a common object between the conflicting maintenance mode, the common objects would either come out of maintenance mode early, or there was a mismatch of behavior. So what we have done right now is we have gone ahead and made sure that the maintenance mode honors the furthest end time whenever there is a conflict of schedules, right? We are looking into further investments in improving the schedule maintenance mode when it comes to time zone differences, daylight savings, and all of it. But we thought, let's go ahead and start with the most important ones, which is honoring the furthest end time. Okay. Support for favorite reports, which has been a consistent ask on some of the community feedback. Favorite reports was available in the previous versions of SCOM, probably 2012, but it was not available in 2019. We've gone ahead and added it. For favorite reports, of course, there is a bit of dependency. You need to go ahead and set up SSRS infrastructure to make sure it works fine. We have added folder support in the web console as well, so that you can go ahead and group the dashboards into folders based on management packs, right? Let me go ahead and talk about the guide which is there. Yeah. So Harold, quick check. You're able to see the screen with the guide. Just want to make sure that you're able to see the screen with the guide open. Someone in the chat can confirm that you're able to see. I will assume that you're able to see the guide, the one with the PDF.
Yeah, I'm able to see it just fine, Cash.
All right, thanks, Harold. I may keep bothering or bugging you here and there because I'm new to the tool, the GoToMeeting.
No problem at all.
Thank you. So this is the guide that we have released for update rollup 2, and we have proactively reached out to MVPs. We have reached out to some of the customers who have shown interest in testing this preview update. Feel free to share your contact with Harold or in the chat window. We would be more than happy to share the preview update rollup so that you guys can test it out and share feedback on them. Okay. This guide covers all the changes that we are bringing in with regards to the change tracking. As I mentioned, change tracking has about 3 reports for management packs. This will give us changes on what management packs were updated, deleted, and removed, all of it in reports. You can pull it up on the admin console, right? The second update, which I was talking about in the improvement of schedule maintenance. Hold on, please. This navigation is a bit slow. Yeah, improvements in schedule maintenance mode. We've got some of the scenarios here where there are 2 conflicting schedules, and it has got some of the objects within the 2 schedules. And we have gone ahead and given a kind of a timeline as to when the objects or agents will go ahead and come out of the schedules. So you can go ahead and test this out. As I mentioned, we are continuing our investments further in scheduled maintenance mode. Right? The third one is the favorite reports, which I talked about. It has a prerequisite of the SSRS functioning correctly. And once you have the SSRS setup infrastructure, where I believe most of the customers do, you can go ahead and have the option of favorite reports and add reports into favorites. And the permissions remain the same as you see it on the ops console, or whoever has got rights to go ahead and log into the web console, as well as who has got the roles of administrator, report operator, and report security administrator can go ahead and add favorite reports. Folders, as I mentioned, you can go ahead and create folders as well as subfolders. Folders are tied to the management pack. So when you go ahead and create a folder, you have to choose a management pack, and then you can go ahead and create dashboards inside them. So this is some of them. And we have also introduced supportability for CentOS 8 in cross-platform. There are quite a lot of features or improvements in terms of Linux, Unix, and cross-platform. The only thing is we have not been able to document because there are quite a few, and we have just gone ahead and want to test certain features which are more impactful. So hence the documentation is concise. However, when the actual Rollup 2 comes out, we will be documenting all of those changes. This document also covers some of the bug fixes that we have done. These are some of the significant ones that we've gone ahead and fixed. This also talks about the hotfix that we just referenced a few slides back. And yeah, so these are some of them. As I mentioned, if you guys are willing to try it out, please share your email addresses and the company name that you work with. You can go ahead and share the update Rollup 2 in an email with you folks. Right? Okay, so having said that, we would want to go ahead and jump into the management pack updates. So first and foremost, we announced some of the important management packs last year in the Ignite session. The first and foremost we talked about was the S2D. Why is my keyboard not? Yeah, S2D management pack, which we announced in Ignite. It was released as a CTP in the month of December for technical preview. Now we have gone ahead and released it, or rather it should be made available as GA. Though the word says CTP, it is GA right now, and you guys can go ahead and test the management pack. Storage Space Direct is a new feature which was introduced as part of Windows Server 2016 Data Center Edition, where you can go ahead and make a high available storage within the Windows Server operating system. You don't need to have a specific SAN storage or NAS storage specifically available for high availability storage. You can go ahead and make use of the existing disks which are attached to operating systems or the servers, and make them highly available, make them as a cluster, and even when one of the node is down, those the data which is there on the S2D is available across other nodes. Okay, so what we have done is we have gone ahead and added 4 to 5 reports. One is network, physical disk, server nodes, storage pools, and CSVs, cluster shared volumes, of course file shares as well. So all these are the monitoring reports that are monitoring capabilities that we have added as part of Storage Spaces Direct management pack. This evaluates health and performances of these parameters. Okay, so on the right hand side, it is a more descriptive diagram of storage spaces. So you have the virtual machines on top of at the very top layer. Then you have storage attached to it, where you go ahead and create volumes, and then you create a pool with the help of Storage Spaces Direct feature. And once you create the pool, it acts as a common storage across all those VMs. Okay, it acts as a cluster. And once you have the storage spaces direct created, with the help of management pack, storage spaces direct management pack, you can go ahead and monitor all of them. A quick demo that I would like to go ahead and show as part of storage spaces direct. I have two host machines or two operation, SCOM machines where I have a non-working, storage spaces direct where it is throwing a lot of alerts, and one of them is that the server is down. Okay, so this talks about, I hope it's visible. Maybe the font is too small because of the screen resolution. Let me know if you want me to go ahead and magnify it. I'd rather go ahead and do it. Yeah, so when you go ahead and set up, why am I not seeing? Yeah, it's a bit of lag over here which I'm facing because of the magnifier, I guess. Yeah, so when you go ahead and set up your S2D management pack, you will have alerts created, and on the left hand side you will have 5. It's a bit of slow, I'm sorry about the delay. Yeah, you will have 5 reports on the left hand side. If you notice here, volumes, storage subsystems, storage pools, nodes, physical disks, file shares are some of the important ones which I just showed you on the slide. Once you have them, you will, or rather once configured, you will also see the alerts, and the alerts will go ahead and give the description as well as the resolution. Let me go ahead and exit the management magnifier because it's pretty slow. It's crashing my system. So once the alerts are generated, you will see what is the description of the alert as well as recommended action on top of it. Since my servers are down, these are hosted on a node which is no more available. So I cannot go ahead and turn it on. However, the suggestion that it gives is please go ahead and turn on the machine to resolve this error. Okay. It also talks about the product knowledge, the history, and the alert context. Okay. And now let me go ahead and showcase a working one. So along with the reports that I just showed, or the criticality and alerts which I showed, we also have a dashboard created as part of the management pack. Here it says this is a working environment where I have one cluster with 2 nodes in it, and both of them are running fine. We do not have any kind of alerts on this, but at the same time we can go ahead and monitor the volumes. Yeah, the storage subsystem, the nodes, both the nodes, all of it can be monitored as part of the management pack. Right, and let me showcase the document. So this is the document which you would go ahead and receive as part of the management pack. You can go ahead and download. There are 4 management packs files which you need to go ahead and import. These 4 are the main one, this S2D 2016, and then the presentation management pack, visualization library, and the storage library. So once you go ahead and import these 6 monitoring scenarios, which I just showcased on the ops console, is available: storage pool, node, disk, file shares, volumes, and subsystems. So you go ahead and have a look into this. There are prerequisites as well as setup documentation in this guide. So feel free if you're already using the storage spaces direct as part of Windows 2016 or 2019. Okay. I will probably take all your questions in about 15-20 minutes. I'm not looking at the chat window for now. Next, coming back to the management pack updates, we also went about Azure MP, right? So Azure Management Pack was there for quite some time, but we've gone ahead and made new investments in terms of web console, viewing the reports from web console, and the same has been added as part of documentation, which is provided here. This is the Azure MP Management Pack, which was I'm sorry, did anyone want to speak? Okay, so this is the Azure Management Pack, which was released in the month of March with the latest update on dashboards on web console. So we've gone ahead and added HPI dashboard compatibility for this management pack. And let me go ahead and show you how it looks. Yeah, so the detailed documentation on how to go ahead and set up the Azure Management Pack is there as part of the documentation. Once you go ahead and set it up and hook this up into a specific subscription, you can go ahead and see all the alerts that are there. I'm sorry, there's a bit of interruption. I'm not sure, is it deliberate or is it by mistake? If Harold, if there are any questions, feel free to interrupt me because I'm not looking at the chat window. Okay. Now, getting back to the Azure Management Pack piece, the server on which we have the Azure Management Pack imported, I'm giving a small demo on that, where on the left-hand side under monitoring, you have these reports created. And before we go ahead and set up or view the monitoring, I'm sure you need to go ahead and set up the the management pack and all of it. Once you go ahead and set up the management pack, we need to go ahead and add the template, right? So we have added the Azure monitoring template, and over here we go ahead and add the subscription. We provide the subscription, and we need to have hold on, please. I have not been come across this error when I was having a dry run. So once you go ahead and add the subscription, you can go ahead and choose the items to monitor. Hold on, let me show you from another machine. Yeah, so under authoring, what you do is you go ahead and set up the management pack and hook it up into a specific subscription, like the one that we have here. Right, so you provide the subscription ID and you need to have the relevant permissions on it. The permissions are mentioned in the document. And you go ahead and choose what type of service types that you would want to go ahead and monitor as part of the management pack. So you choose your virtual machines, your web apps, sites, IP addresses, or virtual networks, the ones which are not grayed out. Only those can be monitored via SCOM. All right. And once you go ahead and check box, you also have an option to exclude some of them, right? If you don't want some of the virtual machines to be monitored, you can add an exclusion list. And once you have chosen the type of service types, you can then go ahead and choose the metrics that you would want to go ahead and monitor. So for a virtual machine, would you want to go ahead and monitor the disk usage, or would you want to go ahead and use the monitor the performance? All of it can be set up in the metrics tab. Okay, so once you have the metrics tab, go ahead and click on OK. You should be able to see all the reports as the monitoring piece. So you will start seeing alerts as to what are in information, warning, and critical. There's RDP slowness. So you will see that, for example, over here, some of the components have exceeded, right? The This is a component in Microsoft Insights. Webs up to testing. This has exceeded the threshold. And this was the same screenshot that you can actually see in the Azure portal. If you look at the availability of this application Insights, it has actually failed, or rather, it's unavailable. And the count is about 1,000 odd tests, or 1,000 odd times it has failed. The same has been reported in the SCOM console. All right, and again, these things were previously available as well, but the thing is, now we have gone ahead and added the capability of viewing these through web console. For example, I have logged into the web console from my desktop, and I'm able to see the Azure monitors, or Azure reports directly from my desktop. Hold on. Right, so you have all the active alerts which are reported. Then you have based on all resources, whether they are up and available. These are the same things that we viewed on the SCOM console. Similarly, you have all resources availability as well as the status. Based on the resource group and based on the type, you have the state, whether it is healthy, warning, in various stages. Also, resource group wise, we have a breakdown based on resource group, and you can go ahead and click on any of these. I'm sorry, not in the resource group, but under all resources, you can go ahead and click on them and see the errors. For example, what is happening in this specific storage account, right? And also you have at the subscription level. What I would like to hear from the crowd is through the chat window, you can help us with what are the other very important dashboards that you would want to see either on the web console or on the ops console. And you can upvote it, or you can always use user voice. But something that we would, one of the intentions of having us present all these updates as well as the demo is we would want you guys to provide some of the inputs, and of course if it has got a really great impact, we'll definitely consider it and implement it in our upcoming updates. All right, so going back, moving forward, these were the two updates when it with regards to the management pack, the S2D and the Azure management pack. We would also want to talk about a small survey that we went about doing it internally. We got to know that these are the top 5 to 6 management packs that are being used by customers extensively, and these are some of the management packs that require a bit of update, right? So SQL and Windows operating systems are kind of a default management pack which everyone uses, and we see a huge usage on those. Active Directory, Exchange, SharePoint, and IS are some of them which follow in the ranking, right? And hearing all of these, we are looking into investing further in Office 365 management pack as well. It is still in the in the talks, and we would look into what are the the parameters that you would want to go ahead and monitor. What are the events that you would want to go ahead and monitor? Because Office 365 is a completely different world where you have you would want to go ahead and monitor from a client system instead of on the servers, right? Or both ways. So we would want to go ahead and prioritize which one is more important, monitoring at the client level or on the server level, and then go about creating the management pack. A few things which I wanted to highlight as part of our newer investments is that we are looking into a new concept called SCOM managed instance. Some of them we have talked about in a very smaller conversations. That is more on a cloud roadmap with regards to managed instance. Again, this is still in development, so we do not have a lot of information to go ahead and talk about it right now in our call. But of course, we will be more than happy to hear your thoughts on SCOM managed instance. A little bit of more information on this is on the lines of SQL managed instance. If you guys are using Azure SQL managed instance, where you can go ahead and lift and shift your SQL workload into Azure directly with the seamless migration, we are looking on the same lines, but of course it has got its own infrastructure in all of it, the SCOM managed instance. So again, it's still in the development and still in the initial period. We'll be more than happy to discuss if you have any ideas around a cloud roadmap. The second investment that you would want to go ahead and look into further is the Office 365 Management Pack, which we just talked about. Everyone is moving towards cloud, and cloud adoption is a really huge footprint that we are having right now. So Office 365 Management Pack has been a big demand through user voice as well as community calls. So we're looking into that. Change tracking, the one that we just talked about earlier, it was, as of now, it is in regards to management packs. We would want to go ahead and stretch it across all admin activities. There has been a consistent ask, as in there is, admins go ahead and install agents or do various kind of updates on the operation console, right? We want to know who did what and when, right? So we want to expand the change tracking across all admin activities. Okay. The fourth one, again, this is in collaboration with Silect. Harold and us, we work together. Silect team has been very, innovative, as well as has done a lot of great deal of work on Power BI dashboards when it came to some of the big customers. We thought, why not, make it available for all the customers of SCOM. Again, this is still in the works. You should be able to see probably when the update Rollup 2 comes out. Okay. I have specifically mentioned the word reinvention in times of cloud is because there has been a lot of rumors sometimes, or there has been a perception that SCOM is going to be deprecated. SCOM does not have a roadmap because we have competitive products, or as well, we have our own product in Azure Monitor, right? So there's always been a perception that, there is not going to be a lot of investments in SCOM. I would want to put that to rest and say that we are looking forward to more and more invention or feature developments in SCOM as well as in other system center products. And we are more than happy to hear your comments as well as feedback to, reinvent, as I mentioned. And feel free to post in your questions here as well as on the user voice. Right? Another way to keep yourself abreast with the updates which are happening in the world of SCOM is in the help of or with the help of blogs. Let me go ahead and show some of the blogs that we have gone ahead and recently published. Refresh it. Yeah. So some of the recent ones are the SCOM management pack for Azure, which we just, which I just gave you a demo on when it comes to the web console dashboards of Azure management pack. This was published probably last month, about 20 days back, and it talks about the same dashboards that we just showcased, right? And some of them changes in alert management of SCOM 2019, which we just talked about. I understand the support article or the KB article will not have a lot of pictures or screenshots to explain the changes. Hence, we go ahead and create blogs to make sure customers are aware of these changes. As I mentioned, there are about 5 changes that we brought in hotfix, and these are some of them with screenshots and the actual fix that is mentioned. And we also talked about some of the free editions which squared up, and we partnered, and they went gone ahead and provided some of the free dashboards because everyone is working from home, everyone is working remotely. So I'm sure the dashboards, the free edition of these dashboards will help a lot of the admins, SCOM admins. right? And again, as I mentioned, we go ahead and we are active on the blogs, and we are going to go ahead and talk about some of the new updates that we are bringing in as part of update rollup 2, as well as some of the newer features that is there on this slide. We will keep you guys posted, and feel free to comment on those blogs, and we are pretty much active on that. Okay, so that brings us to some of the end of our session when it comes to SCOM updates and management pack updates. I would now want to go ahead and open it up to the audience as well as panelists over here.